Welcome to GamerGab, a podcast by gamers about gamers. I'm Ryan, and this is Coda. Today, we're following up on our discussion from last episode, kind of our prototype or prologue episode. It was about Sandbox games, and we're going to continue that discussion, see where it leads us. You'll have to excuse the rambling and the random tangents. We are both prone to it, and it is very likely to happen.
Oh yeah.
So recently we've been playing a bunch of, well, as much of Terraria as we can, when it comes to the sandbox genre. Although we've been talking about getting back into Valheim in the near future.
Valheim, whenever the update happens. I mean, Core Keeper, whenever the update happens as well. I haven't had any news about either of those in a while.
That reminds me. I have not looked into the news for that recently.
Core Keeper's got nothing since they mentioned, hey, we're going to be delayed. But they did say February, and we're about halfway. We're a little over halfway now, so I'm hoping to see something soon.
Right. Yeah, their last official thing on Steam is saying February. I wonder if the internet has something more up to date.
Mm-hmm. And Valheim had its little 5 years update on the 2nd of February, which added some celebratory things and hats, and then some other little things. Apparently they added early access, I think.
Whatever that means.
I'm not exactly sure. I haven't actually played it yet. I can't remember what it was. I think it might have been like wooden, like because they added something you don't know about because it actually happened recently, shortly after everybody stopped playing again. But there was another minor update months ago at this point, and they added in like a training dummy and wooden weapons, but you have to find a couple, and then the other ones you have to craft or something like that. And they're to like help you kind of work the skill in whatever weapon it is up.
Gotcha.
Can be really helpful and fun, something to do. The wooden variants are there because then you don't have to repair as nearly as often and waste valuable materials using like actual good stuff on the training dummy over and over and over again.
Right.
But so my suspicion is that maybe early access is referring to that. I don't know. But yeah, they had a couple things, some celebratory stuff for their 5-year anniversary. New rail menu for emotes. New hairstyles.
That's nice.
2 new buildable garlands. An engine upgrade. Oh, I didn't actually notice that. An engine upgrade.
What game were we talking about where we were wishing it was on a radial for emotes? Oh, it was Headliners.
Yes.
Right. Because it's all still just on the number keys.
It's still on the number keys.
Yeah.
Especially because they also had an update and they just sort of slid them down. So all the buttons I got used to are now no longer those emotes.
I don't even know if they slid them down. I think they replaced a couple emotes.
It might have been that too. All I know is the point one where you're like pointing behind you is a different number than it used to be. I think it was 4, now it's like 7 or something.
Oh. My playtime with that game has been so sporadic that every time I'm relearning the hotkeys anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
True. Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, so Valheim had a little mini update, and that was their last thing. So I still don't know when Vikings is happening. I'm probably leaning more towards later in the year.
Yeah.
Now at this point,
I gave up on guessing game releases a while ago.
Guessing the game release is more of like copium for me. I want it now.
Yeah.
But anyway, Terraria. We have played
a decent amount.
Quite a bit more, because I think the first episode we'd only played like 4 hours or something.
Yeah, we're almost to hard mode.
Yeah.
We haven't flipped the switch on that one yet. There's some corruption to maintain before we do that, but
Yeah.
or quarantine,
There's
I guess is the word I was
also.
looking for.
Did we finish organizing the people we have into places they want?
Um,
I can't remember. I think we're
no,
close.
M was making a bunch of different houses in different biomes and
Yeah.
being decoratey about it, so that was taking its time.
I
Not complaining,
think
just
I think we had
it was
most of it almost.
maybe. I don't think we have a snow one. Oh, that's
No,
the
yeah, it
one
was
that
the
she
first
was
one.
working on. Well, I put a box out in the snow
That's the
biome,
one
but
she's
then she was
working. It's
reworking it
technically there though.
latest. Yes. We need a mushroom one on the surface, and then
Can we get a mushroom one
there's
on the
an
surface?
yeah, you gotta plant mushroom grass and things to make the biome
Oh.
appear. Like you can artificially create
Why do
one.
we need it on the surface though?
Because the annoying mushroom NPC only lives in a mushroom biome on the surface.
Oh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. That's annoying.
Yeah. Had him knocking at my door for a while when on the other server I was playing with my uncle. And we were both trying to figure out why he wouldn't move into any of our houses. And then I was like, oh, I think he needs to be in a mushroom biome. So we went underground to a mushroom biome, and I made a house there, and he still wouldn't move in there. And it was like, screw it, I'm going to the internet. And
That's dumb.
specifically, he needs to be in a mushroom biome on the surface.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
I'll have to figure that out at some point.
I don't think we have
The
a teleport in hell either, which
No,
we can get.
we don't have anybody
And
that likes hell. I don't think.
did you
Not
find
yet.
the Aether yet? Because that was the last thing I was talking about when I logged off and you were still digging around. Did you find a glowy pond on the edge of the map? Remember I was talking about the guide's name and how there's an algorithm to figure out how many blocks
Oh,
east or
wait.
west?
Yes.
You did find a glowy pond. Okay.
Yes. I forgot about that.
So we can make a home there, which is
I
worth it because we'll
have
want
materials.
materials.
I have materials.
What do you mean
I
materials?
had to dig. Didn't I not send screenshots of this progression? I
I don't know.
thought I had.
I don't dare click away on Discord or it'll
No,
mess my
I got it. I
recording
got
up.
it. I got it. I got it. Oh God, this is like maybe I didn't.
But you were
Oh yeah,
looking
yeah,
for the
yeah. Okay,
Aether the last time I logged us
I
off.
was digging through and I dug through so much water. This
Yeah,
place
we have a
is
very
wet.
wet
We have a
world.
very wet world. I'm no joke. I had like an ocean that I was working through,
Mm-hmm.
and I had no easy way to like distribute it or pocket it.
Mm-hmm. Because every pocket is full of more water.
Well, not even
Yeah.
that, but like no, like I mean, yes, but also this particular dig, the only space that I ever saw was literally my tunnel that I was digging straight down
Fair.
for most of it. And I was like, this is weird. I have never seen so much just blank on either side of me the whole time. It's crazy. Anyway, so what ended up happening is I broke through. The music started to change right as I broke through, and I was like, oh, this sounds so cool. And then the water hit the crystally pond, and so it's all crystal now.
Oh, right. Yeah.
It's
The
like water and lava, but it's water and crystal water.
shimmer.
Shimmer. That's what,
Shimmer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I was talking about this. Maxwell 5440, same as.
You definitely messaged us about something. I just don't remember the Aether. It was long
Yeah,
enough
found
ago
it.
now.
Yeah, I said found it. Brought a whole underwater ocean with me too. I ran the water off
Right.
an edge once I got there.
Okay.
But I did a little too much, I think. However, there are more water to get along the path. So, yeah. And then
Gotcha.
I started talking about high hairstyles because found the
Oh
hairstylist when I
yeah.
went because I ended up going through a crazy spider den,
Yeah.
digging that hole to get there,
Yep.
and which was great. I brought the water because this, yeah, it killed all the cobwebs real quick and easy, and then I just had to kill the spiders. But anyway, found the hairstylist in there, and she has some cool hairstyles and shit.
Yeah. I do vaguely remember that message now.
Yeah, and then
Hmm.
yeah, I found Crystal Land. It's relatively small, just a pocket. It goes off to the
It
right and to the left into areas that I didn't go very far exploring. I just went far enough to get the water out of the way because I
yeah.
was like, oh my god, I'm not no joke. I brought so much water with me that the pond had crystallized the top layer, but then also
Mhm.
there was just you couldn't stand without trying to drown yourself.
Mhm.
I had brought so much water, so I had to trail it off. And then I
Mhm.
realized, oh, I've left no water. If we want
It's fine.
water, and I was like, oh, I'll go get more up there.
It's fine. Yeah, I don't think we care about water unless those blocks make cool materials and M wants to
It seems
make a
more.
house out of it.
I vaguely think I think I looked at it, and I think it was mostly just cosmetic looking stuff. I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it is shiny,
It do be shiny.
very
No,
shiny.
that whole Aether Shimmer thing is a it's probably one of the most like fixed in size and place biomes in the game.
Okay.
like um like if you go to the wiki, there's a whole algorithm equation thing that you can hash out as to where it is in your world depending on the seed or depending I think there's a way to figure it out from the guide's name and we were lucky enough that
Mm.
our guide hadn't died yet, so
Yes.
we knew our original guide's name and could figure it out that way. But it is like just a little oval space that has a very set amount of shimmer water set up.
Our hairstylist is not the hairstylist I found, by the way.
Because she touched the shimmer.
No, she
Oh, she died.
drowned.
She drowned.
I
Eh,
couldn't get
whatever.
the water to evacuate in time out of the spider's den.
The original NPC I don't think matters unless you're specifically looking for the Aether biome
Fair.
too, and then that's only the guide that matters for.
Right. No, that makes sense.
But that was all added in between my well, yeah, I had a very large window of not playing Terraria, so there's a whole bunch of stuff that got added since I was playing last, but it is fairly new since the last patch, I think, the last major patch, I should say. Um, and there was no way to deconstruct or basically hit the undo button on things. We have the Goblin Tinkerer, and there's that Tinkerer's Workbench that lets you combine your accessories and stuff.
Yeah.
And there are different combinations that with certain accessories, and you can dead end yourself down a tree trying to get to a specific accessory that requires a very specific combined accessory to get there, kind of thing. Like if
Oh.
you make the rocket boots, then you don't have the Hermes boots to combine with something else.
Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
have
Fair.
the rocket fast boots. I forget what they're called. Spectre boots? Spectre boots. Um, But now that we have the Aether biome and specifically the Shimmer, anything that you want to uncraft, you just throw into the Shimmer and it dissolves, and then the parts come floating back out of it.
Oh.
So like a bunch of the like we could just start making all the different weapons that we want to just see what they do, because if we don't like them and we want the resources back, you just throw it back in there and then it bars and whatever else went into making that
So we need buckets
bit
and to
back up.
bring some of this water back.
Uh,
Or can you bring
I
water?
don't know
I
how
don't
that
know.
works. I don't know how that works. Because every time I've touched the shimmer, I've fallen through the world. I don't think you can stand in it, but maybe if you stand close enough, you
Wait,
can
wait,
get a
wait. So is the
bucket full of
shimmer
shimmer
just a
water.
big pond of sulfuric acid?
It's a big pond of
Are you saying
half
I can
real,
make a?
half not real.
So what you're saying
It's
is
antimatter.
we should make a moat of this shit. Just to wow.
I'm Pretty sure it's the secret to some sort of perpetual energy machine.
That's
Like it's
crazy.
antimatter or some shit.
So
Like
it's a good
yeah,
thing I got
anyway.
rid of the water then, so we can actually have some of this water or shimmer stuff left.
Exposed. Yeah.
There's still a layer of crystal on top because there's like a very thin bit of water. But yeah,
If it works like lava and water, one of the liquids is being deleted and turned into
the blocks.
um,
Yeah.
the blocks, and the other liquid should be fairly unchanged in its mass or capacity. I don't fully remember how that worked.
Well, that'll be interesting to try out. So, no, I don't want you to tell me actually.
Well, I'm curious what the question is either way.
Well, yeah, I'm curious. I'm basically just curious to see how hard mode is going to progress us. Like, I have ideas of what that could entail. It could literally just be. No, hold on. If I think about this logically,
Hmm.
it
I'm
has
curious what your theory
to.
is.
So I know, because you've told me, I know that the corruption attempts to progress and
Start spreading.
take over the world, essentially.
Yep. That's not the only biome that starts spreading.
So I have theories on. Well, that gives me a bit of a hint that actually gives some more ideas. But I had a theory where okay, corruption spreading, cool. That's end game stuff. That's hardcore or hard mode. Sorry,
Hmm.
gives you something more to think about and worry about. What I
I don't
didn't
think you've
know
run
is
into it yet.
how much it affects things. So I'm like, what else could be happening? Or is this just like we're already 80% through the game and this is just the last, 10, 20%? But then I thought, okay, so there's two different things that I could think of right away. Is one, either the world opens up more or more biomes suddenly become available in some places, or but how would they come available? Does it just open the world open up more and you can kind of get to new spaces, or does the corruption have something to do with that, where the corruption mutates a biome and turns it into a different biome? Is my other thought process there, or but now that you've mentioned, there's apparently one other thing that could be spreading. So now I'm wondering if maybe the hell biome somehow mutates something, or if you can go
These are all
further.
cool ideas. What
Yeah,
I will say is that you're off track on
way
just
off
about
track.
all of them. I
Ah,
like
damn,
the ideas, and I think that they probably threw those around in the
damn.
boardroom with the game devs. But for the most part, the corruption spreading is just a problem in that it start like as soon as it spreads into your desert isn't a desert anymore. It's a corrupt desert, and you don't get the same desert creatures to spawn there. And there's, I think, specific drops in hard mode from specific biome creatures that'll help you craft things. Um, I think
So maybe it's all the same biomes. So that was the other thought, is that maybe it's all the same biomes. There's just more mobs in those biomes after hard mode is unlocked. That was the
I'm
other thought.
fairly sure I told you and M already is that there's one more biome that will spawn when hard mode hits.
I think you vaguely mentioned something. I don't think you told me what it
Yeah,
was though. You might have just said that in random passing too.
yeah. I haven't named it for you guys yet. I can if you want me to. It doesn't really matter. But there's
We'll
one
play
more
some
biome that
tonight
you guys haven't seen.
or tomorrow. Sorry.
Yeah, one more biome that you guys haven't seen that also starts to spread, and then I think the jungle slowly spreads, but it is more controlled in its or slower in its spread.
That just
Um,
sounds like typical overgrowth.
kind of. There's yeah, and so the progression of hard mode is less about biomes and like finding more things or more stuffs in
Because
said
like
biomes,
because of the
and
guide,
is
I know
more
that there's more stuff, and I know that there's tons of stuff that I haven't seen, which is
yeah,
what
like a bunch of different metals and stuff, right?
exactly, which is what aided
Yeah.
me to think about like how I've already been to both edges of the map and up high and down low. Like, how does this stuff enter the world? Like, obviously, it's through
Yeah.
the hard mode unlocking, but like, how physically is it being introduced? That's the best way I can put it, and that's what led me to go down that road of like new biomes, corrupted, mutated biomes. Like, what is how is basically that's how I'm trying to figure out. I'm curious to see how. That's why I didn't want you to tell me too much because it'll be kind of interesting.
Yes.
Because those are the three ideas: either new shit gets spawned in the biomes we already know, the new world opened up kind of thing, or the mutated type somethings, or some hybrid
So
of all that.
there's an item that will drop from the Wall of Flesh, which is how we flip the world to hard mode.
Yeah,
The thing down in hell
yeah,
that will spawn.
yeah.
It's called a pwn hammer. Its own hammer,
Yes.
spelled with a P, right? And the tooltip specifically says, and I don't feel like I'm spoiling anything because we're about to get there anyway, and you will see the tooltip on the item.
Yeah.
It says strong enough to destroy demon altars, which immediately makes you think, okay, why would I want to do that? I'm gonna take this hammer and go hit a demon altar, right?
Yeah.
And that is the next step.
Oh my god, why didn't I think of the obvious?
So it does kind of have to do with the corruption or crimson, depending on the world. But we're working with a corrupt world.
I think I already know then at
Okay.
that point. Or at least I think I might know some of it because and it's so obvious. I don't know why I didn't think of it.
Mhm.
And maybe it isn't obvious, but it's one of the obvious things that I should have thought about, knowing the fact that Terraria is about as old as Minecraft and kind of grew up in tandem with Minecraft to some degree. And
Oh yeah, I
Minecraft
wouldn't know how
has
Minecraft deals with this.
the Nether. Minecraft has
Okay,
the end, which is
sure.
essentially you build another portal, you go through the portal, and you're in a new place.
Also, a
Now I'm
cool
starting to
idea.
think about that. That's what that was going for. Is you enter a
No,
new place.
no.
Ah, okay, fine.
We're in the world that we have. I'm sorry, this world does not expand. It doesn't get
All
fancy.
right,
Like, there's
all
some stuff
right.
that spawns inside of the world, but we've been to both edges of the map. We've been to the bottom. We've seen the top.
Yeah,
That's it.
all
What
right.
what happens within the confines
That's
of
so interesting.
the
Then
space that we are in now. Yeah,
okay.
and it's kind of neat how different games handle that
Huh.
kind of thing, right? Because I think, like you were saying, Minecraft, if you want to get to some of the bigger, better, cooler things, you go to the Nether and you start getting things from there, and then eventually you find enough resources to get to the end and go fight a dragon, and then ta-da, you won
Well, actually, they've
for the
expanded
most
that.
part.
Now you have a whole bunch of stuff to
Right.
do in the end before you even do the dragon. Now
Sure.
it's its
Sure. But that
own whole new thing, just like the Nether is. It's actually kind of cool.
yeah.
I've seen it. I've not done it. I haven't played Minecraft in a
Right.
very long time.
But that whole progression line is, I don't think I've dabbled in Minecraft, and I've only ever dabbled in modded Minecraft. And so we were doing terra firmacraft, and it was just like living off the
Ah,
land, trying to
yeah,
figure out how to do very basic things. And I
right.
found that very fun, but we were not thinking about the progression of vanilla Minecraft at
Yeah,
all at that point,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Uh, so like we never even saw the Nether. We never, yeah, none of that.
Hmm.
We were just having fun building castles. I remember making molds out of clay, and that's how you forge different tools and stuff. That was fun. That
Oh,
was cool. Yeah.
so yeah, so Terraria. We've been doing that. We're gonna be we've like we said we're
Tonight or
pretty
tomorrow?
close. Well, tonight I'm doing Smash.
Right.
I think Em has an extra long shift too this tonight, so, and then she's going. I'm assuming she's going straight to karate now.
Right. Okay. So tomorrow
Uh,
then.
Probably tomorrow. Play the
We'll
hell out of
flip
it
the switch
tomorrow though.
on hard mode. Yeah.
I think we'll be able to flip the switch.
Oh yeah.
It felt pretty close. I mean, aside from digging out the other side of corruption, I suppose, because we only did the one
Eh.
end. We didn't do the other one.
Eh. As long as we move quickly enough in hard mode, which we don't have a problem with. We typically are burning through progressive thing. Ooh, what's the new thing? Let's go get the new thing. Let's we
True.
that's just what drives us in games.
Yeah,
We'll
very,
probably be
very much
fine.
so. Yeah, so that'll be a fun thing. But that kind of
And
leads
then
us into
once
the. Oh, what?
just last thing on the Terraria hard mode thing. There's a boss in hard mode that if once we kill it, it slows the spread of the other biomes.
Oh,
So
interesting.
like
Okay.
as long as we're having fun killing bosses, we'll kind of control it in a way already.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Actually, now that I know, I gotta assume there's a boss per biome at minimum. So there's probably one in the sky at some point.
I think technically.
Like from the cloud land is where my brain's going. Some kind of
Mhm.
boss of those weird bird things would be my guess, but I don't know.
I I don't think in a very like literal or specific way, but one could say that one of the bosses is from space.
Oh, I also suspected a space one just because of the meteorites having a
Mhm.
space influence. That was my other thought, was maybe there'd be a space type thing or something. But yeah. Um, I was like transitioning into the sort of the main topic here, which was actually about. I mean, Terraria is involved in this, but that's the type of sandbox survival that Terraria is, and that's the kind of like it's in a similar vein to Minecraft, where it's the completely sort of up to you to figure it out kind of thing. I guess, for lack of a better term, we have it in our notes here: the fuck around and find out.
Yeah,
You're not really guided much. Yeah, you are in a way, but not really. You have
right.
very little story element, if any. You kind of have like hints at a lore perhaps, or some guiding principle of the world, if you will, but not a story that kind of goes, okay, you kind of want to go over this direction to do this thing so that you can go do that direction to do that thing. Whereas Core Keeper and Valheim are more guided. You still have
Yeah.
plenty of free reign, still plenty of um, um, just screwing around, surviving, and experimenting with
Oh, for
stuff.
sure.
But you are a little bit more guided. You have a little bit more progression, um, in the sense of, like, for example, in Core Keeper, you have to, you have the altar room, and it goes, hey, find this boss in roughly this direction, and then you go, okay, cool. Then you got to go that direction, and you know that you need to defeat that boss, and he's in somewhere in that part of the map. But then
Mhm.
it doesn't tell you anything beyond that, really. You don't. Still got to figure out everything else in between that. But it does give you an idea. Whereas in Minecraft, they don't. They just kind of go, "Here's the world." Terraria is the same
Yeah.
idea. Here's the world.
Terraria
You,
is like Minecraft with the hint of hand holding, and
yeah,
that there are some NPCs to talk to and some like random tooltips that the loading screens will give you about like what to do to
yeah,
make things happen. Whereas Minecraft is like completely hands off, just go figure it out. You found a pearl and it floats and it's pointing you in a direction. Have fun.
yeah.
Like just random shit like that. Um,
And even
whereas yeah,
before you get to that point, I mean, you don't have anything. You just kind of go, "Oh, cool. I'm gonna build a thing. I'm gonna craft a thing," and then you go and like hit a material, and you go, "Oh, I can't get that material. It's too tough, too hard, whatever. I
yep.
need something." That's when you go, in the case of hard trees, you go, okay, cool. I need a better axe. How do I get a better axe? Well, I gotta go get this. I know of some materials that exist. Iron,
Gotta go mine
cool.
gold or iron or something. Yeah.
I need a diamond pickaxe. So how do I get a diamond pickaxe? Well, I need the iron pickaxe first. Okay, so then I gotta go find the iron. Then I gotta get a wooden pickaxe so I can get to the iron pickaxe, so I can craft the iron, so I can craft the iron pickaxe. Like, there's some linear material progression,
Which
and
Terraria definitely
Terraria also has
borrows from. It's like, well, you can't hit this metal until you have the metal before it, and
prerequisite,
yeah,
or
yeah,
close enough prerequisite. Terraria has a
Yeah.
little bit more variance. Well, I don't know if Minecraft maybe has more now. I'm not sure. But yeah, you have
I
that
really can't
material
speak to.
progression. You gotta have whatever to get the harder, difficult thing to then keep going. And Core Keeper and Valheim have that same thing as well, but they're
Yeah.
have more on top of that.
Yeah.
Valheim is very. I'd say Valheim's probably the most out of the four. The
Only because
most
it's in
directed.
your face. Like the bird just shows up wherever you are and says, "You've touched something new that's important. You
Yeah.
should do this thing with it."
Have I
Whereas
told
with
you
Core
about this yet?
Keeper, yeah, with Core Keeper, you have to go back to the core room and like talk to a statue, and then it's like, "There's a bird in the west. Now that you've beat these 3 bosses, go fight it."
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But you're still kind of left to figure out within the confines of what's available to you. Like, how do I get bird to like? There's a bird flying around. There's a
Well, that's the
shadow that
cool thing. Not
keeps
only
going over you. You've got to figure out how make bird down.
how make Bird interested in you to
Mm-hmm.
fight Bird, but not
Mm-hmm.
only that. I mean, like at least in ours, it was like, hey, go to the
The Wildlands.
southwest. I had to compass that for a minute. Go to the
Mm-hmm.
southwest where and enter the wildlands or whatever it said,
Mm-hmm.
wilderness something.
Wilderness
And
Wildland.
find the
Yeah.
bird. And but here's the fun thing is it's just telling you a approximate direction that it's decided on to
Mm-hmm.
find the biome. The biome stretches a ridiculous amount, and the bird isn't necessarily southwest in that biome. In our case,
That I
he
found
was
annoying.
actually over there.
I
We
was
entered the southwest
almost
down there, and his ass was way up in the north end of the biome, practically touching the next biome.
right, but it was almost straight west from our core room.
Uh,
Like slightly north, but it was more
no,
west
it
than
was most yeah, it was pretty much west
yeah.
because the
But
highway
the
we
you're
created
right. The
went right
statue
by it.
said go southwest,
We only had to go
but
north
that's
from there for a little bit.
that's because it's pointing towards the pie, which is in the bottom left corner of it,
Exactly, the
and then
central
the next
that pie.
one's in the bottom right corner, and then the top it'll just say go north.
Yeah, for those
But
that
the
don't know,
boss spawner is probably
it could be
anywhere within
anywhere.
there.
It from for those that don't know, basically, you have a circle is your starting point, and before you defeat the first like 3 bosses or whatever. Spoilers, by the way, if anybody cares. Um, to break down the wall is then there's 3 more biomes. So there are 3 more biomes around the inner circle. So they're not perfect quarters, right? So there's like a section that's I don't know something like that
It's all a
off
big
the
peace
circle.
sign.
So it told you to go southwest, which in our case made sense because the center of that of that pie was about southwest because the cutoff to one of the biomes was almost straight south, and then the other one was kind of like over here, and the boss happened to
Probably.
be up over here near the other biome over here. So they're telling us to go southwest because that's the center of that cutoff. Boom. But
Anybody that has this alt tabbed and is just listening is like,
confused.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, the boss could exist anywhere in the biome. Their direction is to just tell you where the biome is, but the way it's worded is a little bit weird. But the point being is it was a little bit guided, gave you a direction, but you still had to go figure out where, how, and all the new fun things to discover materials, weapons, armors, whatever it was.
Hmm.
And in some cases, building it. You could either build in it for specific reasons that were needed for the biome, or just for fun because it looks cool.
Yep. And then there's Valheim that I don't think it's ever pointing you in a direction
It
per
does
se.
it does in a different
Not
way. Instead of having the
yeah.
altar tell you, "Hey, go in this direction," it has those uh, obelisk tablet things that kind of give a cryptic seek blah 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 blah, but they don't tell you a
But
direction to go.
yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is like it'll tell you, hey, you need to go fight Blob, but it doesn't say like, and it'll say Blob in the swamp, but it doesn't say which direction to go find a swamp. You're just supposed to go
Oh,
sailing
you meant
around.
physical
Like there's
direction.
no cardinal
Yeah.
compass direction that it is saying go this way to get to the next thing.
Yeah,
In
no.
Valheim, the idea is get in your boat and start sailing and go
You
find a swamp.
explore. That's what I liked about Valheim so much. Is it still let you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I like about any of these games. But even with Valheim being kind of more directed because you've always got a crow, well, and you can turn that off if you don't want them, or if you've already, seen all the crap.
Can you turn him off for everything? Because I thought he was going to still show up for some of the like
I think it's for some of the
very
important stuff,
important bits. Yeah,
but
which is the part we're talking about. Like, I
I
don't care about
suppose
tutorialization. Like, that's
the
annoying. But
but
yeah,
like you still got to go explore. They didn't like you said, they didn't give you the directions, so you had to go out and about, find what it was. But they do change that up a little bit in once you found a zone and you do the zone's dungeon or whatever you want to call it, you can find tablets
yes,
that can literally put a marker on the map for where that biome's boss
yeah,
is.
yeah. Instead of pointing you in a direction saying, "Hey, figure it out," it's like, "Oh, you found a zone that you want to check out, and this feels like the next place that you are supposed to be." And then, like you were saying, you find little dungeons around. You wander around in those dungeons, and then that dungeon will tell you that for this specific biome, the boss you're looking for is this way. And I think
Mm-hmm.
Valheim covers its bases in that it has a couple different spawners or like altars
Yes.
for the biomes. It's scattered like so. If you found a swamp to the west, then it'll point you to the closest one in the west, but there might be another one in the east somewhere or whatever. The one thing I like about Valheim that like it's a little bit hands off on is that I think on your starting island you can't get a swamp that
Yeah, no.
the starting piece of land, but you can get a mountain or enough elevation to make snow and stuff. Like you may not have a boss spawn mountain on your starting island, but there will be snow and cold, and so you run into a biome that's like, oh, it's killing me. How do I survive here? I can make a bunch of campfires and daisy chain them around to move around, but I can't do much here. And it's not until you get a couple biomes in and a couple bosses in that you then get equipment that's like, oh, keeps you warm. It's like, oh, I know where to go because you've already explored it and you've got that in your memory bank. So then you're like,
Yeah.
oh, I've got the key to the lock now, and then you run
Exactly,
off
yeah.
to go do the thing. Yeah,
Discovered the
which is
thing to do the thing with the other thing. The cool part for me with that was like you mentioned island. In some cases we was specifically our island because it was small enough, but it's I've recently discovered it, or well, the last playthrough I discovered it. It's not an island, it's actually just a radius around the spawn, the little spawn
right.
thing that you fall down on, not necessarily where you build your base, but where your starting
The
spawn is.
the original spawn location.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
with
center of the world, we'll call it.
the boss altar things that you get your powers off of. There's a radius that literally determines. I think it only. I believe it's only what are we? Oh, what's that first? Meadows and
Meadows in the
Black
woods.
Forest.
Yeah.
Everything else has to be outside that radius.
But I distinctly remember a mountain being on our landmass. Maybe it was far enough
We
away
wandered
from the
far enough
center.
away.
Yeah.
That's what, and that was really cool because on that recent server, I loved that because that mountain was like, I, I bet you I could probably pull it up, like enter the world file, and there's probably a map that'll pull it up or something like that. I bet you anything, it was probably right on the edge, just right off from our radius, because it was really close, and it was huge enough that it had our boss on it.
Right.
which again, those can only spawn outside of a certain point. Well, past the
Mhm.
meadow and the Black Forest, anyway. So, like, we got real lucky on that roll.
Mhm.
That was cool.
It so full circle, haha, pun intended, I guess. It does kind of borrow from the core keeper setting or
Mhm.
setup, although Terraria as well in a way, but you're looking at a side view instead of a top-down view kind of thing
Mhm.
for world generation.
Yeah.
But like center point, spawn point is
Easy mode.
um,
Or
easy
easier.
mode where everything else draws out from, as
Mhm.
from like a very technical level. Um, the difference between Core Keeper and Valheim there is that there's ocean and water and shit that you can't just swim endlessly across because you have a stamina bar and will start to drown. Not to mention creatures in the water that'll eat you if you get too far out
Mhm.
somehow. So you got to go use a boat, and then that water that was restricting a bunch of your early game exploration is now your highway to go find cool new things, and so you spiral out from wherever you made your boats and go find cool shit.
That's probably one of my favorite aspects of Valheim, honestly, is the boats.
Yeah,
Like, it's
I
not,
like.
it's nowhere near as accurate. Well, not even necessarily accurate, but like cool. Like,
It's not as
shoot,
in depth as like Sea of Thieves
Sea
or
of
things
Thieves.
like
Thank
with
you.
a shit ton of things to do on the boat. You just get on boat, steer boat,
No, but
drop
it's
sail or raise
still really
sail.
cool. There's some storms you got to worry about. Sometimes there's a sea serpent that tries to kill you in the storm or at nighttime, and it suddenly
Mhm.
becomes holy crap. Everybody pay the hell attention. You,
Oh yeah,
you
all,
might,
all hands on deck, start
yeah.
shooting.
But like even just boating around, trying to just to see what you see is just fun. It's relaxing and fun, but and then like I said, it can sometimes get a holy shit exciting suddenly.
Yep.
Oh,
No,
time to leave this land. The troll's trying to walk into the water and beat the crap out of your boat with a tree. Time
yep.
to go
That's
right now.
where I spent too much time in Valheim is just in a boat,
Yeah.
uncovering. I like just clearing fog of
Well, you
war.
spend so much time on the land for the first probably I don't know a good chunk of time because you're going through the meadow, you're
Your
going to the
first
Black
playthrough,
Forest.
I'm gonna guess it's 5 to 10 game like
Yeah,
play hours.
yeah.
I yeah,
And then you
at
get your
least.
first real boat that you can kind of do anything with. And that's when you sort of go, oh, whoa, hold on. This place is so
You
much
can
more
craft a
interesting.
raft that
And
lets you
it's
go see
so
what that
shit.
beach that you can see from. Yeah, but
Well,
like
yeah, like
if
across
you
the
go,
pond.
you can be like, oh, I can see another landmass, and then
Yeah.
you can maybe on foot go explore a bunch of that. But you are going to quickly run into
Mm.
things like swamp and uh, the mountain cold biome or whatever that just with the beginning gear,
Oh,
you're
it's.
not gonna do very well surviving. Like some pro Dark Soul players are gonna
Oh,
do
yeah, for
fine
sure.
playing through all that
Some
area,
of those
but they are
speed
very
Valheim
oppressive
speedrunners,
to.
too.
Yeah, they're very oppressive. Well, I just mean like the combat style. Like
Mm.
if you know how to manage stamina and fight creatures that are gonna try and one shot you, you can go pretty far in that game.
Yeah.
But to the majority of players, exploring too far just says, hey, you're not at the right point to be here. Go figure out what you're supposed to do. Like, go back, check out the meadows, check out the. I want to call it the Lost Woods. What is it? The Dark Woods? Dark
Black
Woods.
Forest.
Black Forest. Same shit. Dark Woods, Black Forest. Anyway,
It's,
yeah.
yeah, I really enjoyed the sailing.
Is
I mean,
there.
there's times where I would just, people would be doing the things that they need to be done around the base to be like, okay, cool, I'm going to go on the boat and just do a circle, see what I see.
Anyway, to bring it all back to what we'd kind of talking about the kind of evolution and the different styles of sandbox games. You kind of go from one end of the spectrum, which is Minecraft, and just like we're not helping you at all,
Yeah.
and then you can go all the way over to the other side to. I think I'd put Valheim on the more handholdy side than Core Keeper. because you truly could just wander around Corekeeper and not know what to do. Like, there's never a bird that says, "Hey, you've done
I mean,
something
that's
important."
essentially what we did. I mean, aside from the court, occasionally just being like, "Hey, this thing," we just wandered around, and yeah, because in Core Caper there was so much, and we discussed this in the first episode at one point where it was just like a lot of, mostly me because I was just dicking around because I didn't know this stuff existed, where you just sort of pick a direction to mine in or wander in, and then you'd be like finding something that is unrelated at all to the general main storyline, and you'd be like, what's this about?
Mhm.
What do you do?
Mhm.
Um, and Valheim has a small bit of that, and they have actually recently added a small bit of that. One of the first examples I can think of is the ice fishing caves. Right?
Oh, that's new to me.
You
Neat.
don't remember that?
Ice fishing caves?
Well, it's in the mountains. The mountain caves where you could find a fishing pole. We had
I don't
those on our
remember
first
that.
playthrough. Oh,
I know that
really?
we had fishing poles, but I don't think I was the one to find the fishing pole. I just knew that it was happening. Unless that was the last server, and then I
No,
probably didn't even get to mountain progression.
this was available in the first one, I think. Maybe it was the second one. But it was definitely available before. I think it was your dad that had discovered the first one.
Yeah.
But anyway,
When did Valheim add fishing poles?
yeesh.
Be Oh, since its initial early access. But you bought them from the trader.
Yeah, but they had like an ice. It's in the mountain. It's a different type of cave, or it was like a fish cave or something. Fish cave.
A fishing rod can also be found in frost caves in the mountain
Frost
biome,
caves.
which
That's what
was
it's called.
introduced in later updates, specifically the Frost Cave update in 2022.
Yeah, so it's just a variant of the typical frost caves that we could find in the mountain.
Yeah.
That was it would just have a hole in the ground or like a hole somewhere in there. You would go down and it would be water, and sometimes you could find a fishing pole hanging out in there.
Hmm.
hmm We started
Well,
calling them fishing caves or something. Can't remember what we
not
actually
to
called it.
not to shit on Valheim, but all of their dungeons look close enough to each other that all of these images are like that looks maybe familiar, but it also looks like something I didn't see. I like
It's
I
generally
don't
some type of
know.
decorated hole in a ground, a wall, or something like that. Yes,
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
I think the most unique one is the swamp because it's a grave stone looking thing.
I
That
think it
like
looks a
or not a
lot
grave
like the
stone, sorry, a grave like underground grave entrance.
yeah, that's a lot like the Dark Woods entrances.
No. Those are like rocks that lead into a cave.
Mm,
Whereas the ones in the swamp are like built up with a black stone and it's actually a stairs with the iron gate. Although once you open it, the iron gate kind of vanishes.
I think I get what you're
With the
saying. Like the
green
ones in
lantern
the
or
swamp have like crypt vibes, whereas the
crypt.
ones in the Dark
That's the
Woods
word.
are just kind of like a stone slab.
Yeah,
But one's just an older crypt.
true.
One's just another generation crypt.
So is the mountain one's just a frost crypt?
That's probably my one gripe with Valheim is that they all kind of just blend together. It's the biome that defines them in a way. Like
True.
you say, there are differences, yes, but yeah, you squint at them hard enough and they kind of just blend together.
Not wrong. Not wrong. Um,
But yeah, we're talking about hand holding and versus not hand holding. That kind of leans into like you have played a bunch of Minecraft many years ago at
long
this
time
point,
ago, but
right?
yeah.
Um, whereas I didn't really get in like the one time I think I tried to play vanilla Minecraft, I wandered around, mined, probably spent like 5 hours in the game or a couple sessions, up to 10 tops. Um, but we were just playing Sandbox, build 'em like it
Yeah.
was a Lego sim for us for a good time. But I quickly was just like, meh. Like I know I can visualize what I would build. I've built a few things. I don't feel like it became very monotonous and grindy to just kind of do that. And when I asked the game in that I looked around for like, is there anything more to do? There was nothing jumping out at me saying, "Hey, go find a nether eye and go find the nether and whatever else." Is it a nether eye? Ender eye.
Ender Eye.
Ender eye. Yeah. There was nothing that was telling me to do that. And then you can go do the explory thing. Like the Valheim vibes are in Minecraft in a way, but you kind of have to know where to look or what to look for in a way. Like you won't. Yeah, I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
of like there's pyramids or something in Minecraft or like
Yeah, there is.
underground trappy dungeon things.
Yep.
Um, I think there's been some underwater stuff that's been added through time. That's cool.
Caves.
Like you can go look for treasure with treasure maps and stuff now.
Yep.
Like there's been more added to
More
it to
things to do.
kind of give you things to stumble into and enjoy. But unless you have to really try hard in Minecraft with no knowledge of the game. Like that is definitely a caveat to like find things to do that aren't
Yeah.
just the same kind of
Same
thing.
kind of thing. Exactly.
And I find myself way more drawn to games like Core Keeper and Valheim. Like those are games that I would load up a single player world and just wander around and do those things. From like I could see myself
Yeah.
if I hadn't played it with you guys, I'd have still done everything that we did. It would have just taken me longer and explored that entire game because there were many points in time where I'd run into something and I had a statue to go talk to and ask questions, or I had a merchant that showed me an item with a tooltip that
Yeah.
told me
What's this about?
explicitly
What's going
what it
on here?
explicitly what it did and why. The only reason that I'm as into Terraria as I am, which I put in more of a Minecraft um, basket of just fuck around and find out, is because when I played that game, I played with people that showed me what to do. We weren't just playing build a town game. They knew the progression. They knew that there were bosses. So they wanted to go and get better equipment so that we could do the thing. Like there
Yeah.
was like there was a gameplay thing that we were, we're hitting all the beats, and that drove me forward. And with that knowledge in the back of my head, I can now go back to Terraria single player and enjoy it like many people will enjoy Minecraft. But to learn everything in Minecraft to do the things is probably just as difficult as to learn everything in Terraria. It's just a bunch of work. Like you have to have a wiki open on the other side or a guide of some sort when you're talking about progression and like I want to go see what there is to see in this game. So like I find myself drawn to more of the handholdy style of open world sandbox because I need the game to be like, but what about you go finding this marker on your map? Like you, it's kind of out there in the middle of the fog of war. Looks like you're going to need a boat. Okay, I'll go do the monotonous task of grinding resources and finding more metals so that I can build a boat, so that I can go explore the world to find a thing. Oh, this altar wants something? Let me think about it. Right, I gotta find the item that goes in the altar to spawn the boss. Oh, I touched a boss drop. Crow yelling at me about a bone pick or something. What was I forget what the yeah, it's the elk
Antler.
that or the yeah, it's the antler pick that and it's like, oh now you can go hit metal.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Or you just don't get a pickaxe before you yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter if you explored the dark woods. You'll have
Yep.
found these weird copper deposits. You
Yep.
just don't know
Can't
how to make a pickaxe
can't
yet.
deal with it.
And then you go fight a deer boss,
Yep.
and then you have a pickaxe. There's a
Yeah.
cat under my desk being a jerk.
Kitty cat.
Stop being a jerk.
Um. No, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like the only The only reason why I could ever possibly go back to Minecraft by myself is the nostalgia, and it would be to
Hmm.
just craft something, because originally Minecraft was built for what's in the name, mining materials to then craft whatever the hell you wanted.
Yep.
That's literally all it was. You can actually look this up. Notch, the original creator of Minecraft, built that game because he liked creating stuff out of Legos. He essentially just made a video
Hmm.
game version of that,
Yep.
more or less.
Which I respect. I love Lego. I love building
And
things.
yeah, and he just liked building things out of blocks, and so that was his whole premise for the game. Isn't it? That was the whole point. That's what started it. And then it was always built around that. And then since Microsoft took over, and the rest of the original team stayed along. What's his name? Jebediah or whatever his name is. Um, they've gone to a little bit more of almost like the Terraria route, where they're it's not so much. I mean, there is still plenty of crafting involved, but now there's other elements, exploration and discovery, and some story. It's still not nearly as much as Terraria. So in Terraria as well, like you have that more. There's multiple bosses to discover and to then do the thing. So like in your case, with your buddies or friends or whoever, there was a direct progression because they knew it. They could teach it to you. In Minecraft, maybe this has changed recently because I haven't played in probably about 6 years, give or take. But in Minecraft, there isn't a lot of bosses. There's tons of mobs and areas to discover and things to find. But a lot of your progression is almost for the sake of the progression. So it is probably the least handholdy of any game, because the only real progression is technically defeating the Ender Dragon.
Right. Yeah.
Everything in between
Yeah. I
there
think
is just getting there.
that
There's
that
not
stepping stone
markers.
of bosses and resources and things
Mm-hmm.
intertwined is that that draws me way more.
And and I was
I
gonna say a
when
lot
a
of
game
this is
just
based around our
throws me in a
ADHD.
well, yeah.
Dopamine
When a game
hits.
just throws me in a sandbox and says, "Okay, go have fun," I'm like, I made a sandcastle.
Mm-hmm. Like
I don't know what else to do.
I made some stuff. Well, exactly, and I made some stuff. Like I recreated one of my houses for fun,
Mm, yeah,
like my real life house, just for shits and giggles.
right.
Um,
But you have to yeah, you have to make the fun in that
yes,
setting.
and that's why in
And
Minecraft I almost always enjoyed playing it with at least one other person, minimum.
right.
Most of my Minecraft experiences were based around a group of like 4 or 5 people, lightly modified, mostly for like quality of life crap at the time, or
Mm,
to add or funny actually to add stuff too. Like I used to there's a mod that is largely mostly just in the game now. Well, it slowly has been acquired to be in the game. I think it was
sure.
called Doctor Shoal. I don't remember. Basically, it had a crap load of animals, which all basically exist in the game now.
Right. Yeah.
Um, just to have more discovery. And
Yep.
that was the main way I played Minecraft. I rarely played a purely vanilla, and even when I did, it was still with a bunch of people.
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever defeated the Ender Dragon once, because it's
There's
so
a
far down the
Terraria
line.
mod. There's a Terraria mod for Minecraft that actually looks pretty cool.
Is there?
Yeah. You
I
know
mean,
that big
there's
snake thing that we fought underground? Yeah,
yeah,
well, that in 3D is way harder and way crazier.
well, I was gonna say there are some really cool mods for Minecraft that add that type of experience. Not even necessarily a Terraria mod, but there's oh, I can't even remember what the hell it's called, but there's a few that are like that where they add just this, just it's almost like an overhaul
Mhm.
where it's just so many.
It's kind of becomes its own. It's
Yeah,
Like
It's
it kind
almost its
of
own game.
Minecraft becomes Gary's mod, and it's like
Yeah.
make your own thing inside of this.
Yeah.
Right? Like
Exactly that.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, yeah, the only real progression in Minecraft, like I said, is for the sake of the progression, and it's mostly material.
Mhm.
You know, you need, if you want to get that cool new material that you can discovered, you need a previous tier's material to be able to acquire it. Then other than that, there isn't any progression. It's just totally up to you to do whatever it is you want to do.
Right.
Build a mountain, cool. Build a hole, cool. Build a town, go ahead. Make a house,
Yeah.
Skyscraper, well, go ahead. There's no direction aside from, like you said, finding a random ender pearl, discovering that you can combine it with ender pearl with something that gives you the ender eye, which then points you towards a portal eventually. And then you discover a new land. You're like, holy crap, what is this dragon? Ah. And then you defeat the dragon, and then you're like, oh, game's over. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Terraria has
Um,
progression a little bit comparatively.
the modability and things kind of is where a lot of people find the fun in Minecraft, like you were saying. I was talking with a mutual friend of ours that was random discussion came up. He really enjoyed Skyblock mod for Minecraft and was playing a different game with a Skyblock mod. I don't remember what it was. Anyway, that was just in my memory banks. In this latest Terraria major patch, they added a Skyblock seed.
That's what he was talking about.
Into the base game.
Yeah, Skyblock Terraria.
And I mentioned Terraria's got a new update coming. Unfortunately, because he was playing Core Keeper with us a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like, unfortunately, Core Keeper's patch got pushed back, so don't worry about you know gearing up to play that. But Terraria's got a patch. And he's like, I bounced off Terraria a bunch of times. I'm like, but they added a Skyblock seed, and he was like, oh,
Skyblock.
Of course, he loaded it right back up and was checking it out. I think he bounced off again.
Probably.
I think it's a perspective.
Didn't he also joke about having Core Keeper Skyblock?
I mean, you probably could.
Maybe.
I don't know how that would work.
I think it'd be harder. Terraria and Minecraft are a little bit more open to modding. Partly, but probably because there's so much more.
Yeah,
hands-off.
I have no knowledge on how hard it is to mod Core Keeper, but I think that to keep it feeling as vanilla as possible, I don't know how you would generate blocks in Core Keeper.
True.
Because the only way to find blocks and like fill the ground in is by mining walls in vanilla Core Keeper, I think. Whereas with Terraria, you can create blocks. I think the way that I've only barely dabbled in it, but the way that they have you expanding your island, doing exploration and progression, is you get a slime press, and the only thing spawning on your little skyblock island is basically slimes and zombies at night or whatever. So you just keep collecting gel, and then you take that slime press and make slime blocks, which lets you expand the world and do things. And then the slimes can be dropping items, like they up to the spawn rate for slimes with items inside of them, including dirt and things. So you eventually, and rope, you eventually take those slime blocks and all of the rope you've collected from all of the drops, go down into the underground, make a little island down there, and then the dirt slimes start spawning, and that's where you can find dirt. And then there's mud slimes that'll maybe spawn, etc. And so everything, the game already does that in vanilla Terraria. It's just the spawn rates for slimes with items inside of them, I think, are turned down, and in Skyblock are turned up. Not to a huge degree, but enough.
But they are,
yeah.
They're more.
And so to find all of the biomes and explore all of the biomes and progress through the game in some way, you have to create your own artificial biomes for the bosses and for the things. Like, there's definitely some content that, as far as I'm aware, just cannot be explored with a skyblock seed.
Man,
there's not going to be a dungeon.
It sounds interesting, but also
temple.
really grindy.
It is extremely grindy. The most that I've experienced of Terraria Skyblock is I watched a 3-hour stream of somebody playing the game, and they knew they knew the game way better than I, so they made a decent amount of progress, but they still hadn't gotten to hard mode, and I
Yeah.
don't know how you're supposed to do any sort of hard mode content without demon altars to smash, etc. Yeah, but that challenge, that with that mod that it added to that can be the other driving force for some people. Like, just how do I do this thing? And then they ask different questions on like how I make jungle happen. Well, I
Yeah.
need jungle seeds. Well, I need mud to plant the jungle seeds in. Oh, if you take dirt and a bucket of water, I think you can make a mud block. And that's how
That
you
makes
make your
sense.
mud block. And then you get a slime to drop jungle seeds. You plant your jungle grass, and you slowly increase your jungle biome, and that's how you get jungle things to spawn. Yeah. Anyway, it's like there's questions to be
So
asked, and then
intricate.
the game finds interesting and weird ways to answer said question, right? And it may not be at first very apparent. So the game is definitely relying on you to just kind of be bored and grinding out some shit until you
Yeah.
stumble into something that
Feels a
solves the problem.
little too grindy for my taste, personally.
Right. Yeah. But
But
it that just
that's
leans
what you're
further
into.
into the Minecraft side thing.
Yeah.
It's like just fuck around and find out.
True. Put
You
shit
know?
together and see what happens.
Mhm.
How does it go together? It's yeah.
Yep. I mean, there's Pokemon mods for Minecraft that I think I'd have fun with, just because it's
Yeah.
drawing on my Pokemon knowledge that
Well,
I
but
could
then at that point we
uh,
may as well just get
play Pal World.
Pal World at this
Yeah.
point, because that's essentially what that is, just standalone. Honestly,
Yeah.
we should at some point.
I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. I'm less interested in there's a reason why I haven't loaded up Minecraft with a Pokemon mod. It's like I'll just go play a Pokemon game if I want to get my Pokemon fix. I don't need the
But it's a
sandbox
Pokemon game. It's
weirdness.
just an adult Pokemon game. That's not Nintendo. It's
Yeah,
available on your PC and
I don't
multiplayer.
want sandbox survival aspect on top of my Pokemon game. I just want my Pokemon game to be my Pokemon
But it's
game.
Pokemon Go, kind of.
And I never played Pokemon Go,
I did a
so
little bit, not really.
yeah.
There was a mod in another survival game. You never, I think I made you play it for a tiny amount of time, but I actually played it very extensively for a while, called
Sure.
Ark Survival Evolved.
Oh, there's been a few
dinosaur
different people. You're not the only person that made me load that game up.
No, but I think I was the most
Every
recent.
single, maybe, yeah.
Because
Every single time I've bounced off that game hard.
yeah, it sucks that you did.
Something about dinosaurs plus space, age, technology type vibes.
The problem
just
was, I think the problem
disconnect in my brain.
problem is, okay, I'm going to stick to the topic that I was going to say first. Then I'll address that part.
Sure.
There was a mod in Ark Survival Evolved that was very much Pokemon. It wasn't Pokemon, but there was a mod that you could get that was essentially Pokeballs.
Mm-hmm.
And they operated exactly like a Pokeball would.
You go catch your dinosaurs.
You go catch your dinosaurs. It was actually kind of cool. It was actually really cool. You just, oh my god, that was actually so cool. It's because, first of all, the mechanic kind of already existed in a more convoluted way in the actual game, like the vanilla game, but it required some of that space tech. But the really cool thing was, not only did it make you feel like a Pokemon guy, because you'd literally throw your Pokeball, you'd have to damage the dinosaur, injure it, or trank it, or whatever. Throw the ball at it, does the whole animation, the whole sounds and everything, right? The whole thing. And then you get it, cool, it's yours, right? That's how you would tame them, and then you would have them in your Pokeball, and you throw them out, use the dinosaur however you wanted, and put it away. So it was just cool, but then it would actually save server performance. So having
because you're
1,000 dinosaurs hanging around.
inside. Yeah,
they were
you
just
put them all
data.
on the PC.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It was great.
That's funny.
As for the I think part of your problem
Secretly,
with
Bill's PC is just saving
yeah,
the Pokemon world frame rate.
pretty much.
He's like, "Look, we're gonna take all these Pokemon and put them somewhere because the world is coming to a halt."
It's gonna end. The I think your thing with this Ark Survival Evolved and bouncing off of it, and specifically your disconnect, is because
Dinosaurs in
you
space
got.
shouldn't go be together.
I agree to some extent, but I think part of the reason why is because you came into it so late.
Oh yeah, there was a lot to take
When
in. Like I was not discovering it new with everybody. It was everybody knew what the hell they were doing, and I was going like, "What's going on?"
but even still, without that as well, the aspect of it being dinosaurs in space happened way later.
Right.
We only knew it as a dinosaur game. Progression showed it as a dinosaur game. Everything we knew about that game when it was still in early access was a dinosaur game. You had hints of like this weird mysterious thing going on with this weird thing in your or this one, either one, in your wrist, and the obelisks. There was always that weird mystery. So you had a hint of like something to do with space perhaps, but like you didn't know what. And it was very minor, very minor. You quite literally dinosaurs around you, wilderness around you. You made shit out of sticks and stones. And for the most
It was
part,
pretty easy to forget that there was a space dash in there.
and
yeah.
and it was very, and we weren't even sure it was necessarily space per se.
Right.
I mean, like it
I
hints,
see. I think if they'd gone a different direction and it was more like Atlantean race that you know flew too close to the sun and finally broke down, and we were like more
yeah.
fantasy technology, I think I would have been more okay with it.
Well,
But
so that's
because
the
it's
thing.
like sci-fi tech, I was less. Yeah.
Well,
There's something about a genre disconnect for me, where like
they
I'm less into sci-fi.
do that sort of. So, okay, I'll try to explain it as quickly as I can. Basically, in the initial game, you have a very, very, very minor hint, and you basically have zero tech. There's nothing in it in the progression. But they had the story in mind the whole time. I'm assuming they probably didn't have the exact details. They probably fleshed it out further, but they had the idea of it being some tech eventually.
Well, somebody had a storyboard put together
Exactly.
before they
And
implemented it
essentially,
into a game.
from what I
Or a
remember
flowchart.
playing in the lore, it is sort of like the world ended type scenario. So what you have is a world that ended. It had gone to ruin. If I recall correctly, it's almost kind of like a Zero Dawn situation, where something like everybody's all teched out and advanced and all this crap, and a war breaks out and the entire world collapses, more or less.
Okay.
And they set up Atlantean-like areas to preserve the world's history.
Okay.
And
So we're just in Jurassic Park.
We're essentially in a little dome up in
Yeah.
space as a space station,
Uh-huh.
up in space, hanging out
Uh-huh.
on this particular. And there's multiple domes. That's what the maps are. There's multiple maps, and you can actually find hints about the lore of these a few explorers. You can find explorer notes for each map of this old explorers of the domes, because you are essentially recreated in the image of the humans that originally existed. You aren't some people that were plucked off the planet. You are essentially a genetically done human and are discovering the world, much like Zero Dawn. Horizon
The
Zero
mosquito
Dawn.
and the amber didn't just have dinosaur DNA in it; it had some human DNA in it.
Right. So you are now regenerated. You are the only world you know is this world, and it's the map. And you can you actually do have progression. I never followed it because at the time that I was playing it, it wasn't fleshed out fully. But you have technically progression. You do the first map, the island. You get your dinosaurs. You craft. You survive. progression is based on. It's kind of similar to Terraria or Minecraft, where your progression is based on like material to some degree, getting the new cool material. You need the other material to do the new cool thing or whatever the crap. And then you defeat a series of end-game bosses, and then you discover a terminal, and it technically in lore, this terminal then transports you to the next land, where you start over, do it again, but in a new place, maybe with new materials, depending on the thing, and you just keep doing this progression until you eventually get to this crazy end game, which is supposed to technically send you down back to the planet's surface, which is where you, as you've done this, you kind of discover some of that tech stuff. Is sort of the point. You discover these tech things, and then when you're on the planet, it's just full of tech because it was a futuristic thing. It turned into dystopian. That's sort of like the whole progression. So you are kind of like in what you were describing, where it's sort of like Atlantean world went to shit, discover it all over again, kind of thing.
Well, Atlantean is one thing. Post-apocalyptic is another. I've been thinking about this while you've been telling me
Zero Dawn.
Right. This sounds very cool as you describe it. Like I want to watch the movie or read the story that is set in this world and know what happens. For a game, I'm less interested. What I will say is I think a major reason why I bounced off of Ark is because it is dinosaur focused, and I don't really give a fuck about dinosaurs. You make that dinosaur have wings and breathe fire and throw a wizard next to him. I'm all about it. Dragons are cool as shit.
Yeah, you got that, though. You have those.
Sure, they exist, but the main aesthetic, main focus is like, what if Jurassic Park, but untamed? Like there's no caretakers anymore, and you're just the guy that lives there and is trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm not saying they're bad movies.
I loved it.
I'm not saying they're bad stuffs, but Jurassic Park and all of the movies following, I watched them once. They were fine. They were good. But I wasn't a dinosaur kid. I was reading all the fantasy books. I was watching things like Star Wars, some Star Trek, like the sci-fi space I enjoy versions of.
Yeah.
Star Wars is wizards in space, whereas Star Trek is more sci-fi. Like there's sci-fantasy and then there's sci-fi. Anyway, that's a whole other episode of thing.
I like both.
Yeah, I like them, but dinosaur, I never really cared about dinosaurs.
There was just something about that game where I really liked. Something was cool. It was just like, oh, cool, you can tame the dinosaurs. I want a raptor friend, and I had a raptor friend. I want a T-Rex friend. Yes, you could have a T-Rex friend.
Yeah.
You want a pterodactyl friend that you can fly around on? Here you go. You got to get his ass, but you can do it.
Yep.
Cool birds. I could have a wolf pack. I had a wolf pack. I don't know how many times I played that game. I would always have a wolf pack. And I don't mean like 5 or 6. I mean like 20. I would specifically go out of my way to find 20 wolves and make my own wolf pack. It's a lot of fun. I would struggle to go back to that game. In fact, I have struggled to go back to that game. But I did enjoy it.
Ark?
Yeah. It's
some have more lasting power than others, and
a lot of it's to do with
like more for some people than others. Like it's just
A lot of that was to do with the UI
I have a friend
jack.
that would still be playing Ark if he had people to play with. Like every time it comes up, he's like, oh, "Can we play again?" I was like, "No, I just brought it up."
You talking about me?
No, I mean you and I got another buddy. I guess I should connect you two because you guys would be playing Ark every day.
Yeah, but then we would pull you in.
Yeah.
Don't play
Ryan. No, you would try, and I would say,
I had
sorry.
you in for it. No, I had you in one time. You were playing it with us. It was me, you.
I did one session, and then I was like, nah.
Yeah.
And then I did one session with that buddy that I'm talking about. Nah. And then I did one more session, I think, with maybe was it Squid and Friends or somebody associated with that crew?
Maybe Ninja or Lumbry.
maybe.
It
Anyway,
definitely would have been Party
and
Squid.
bounced off of it again. Like I 2 out of 3 times I walked into an established server
Oh,
with
maybe
people
that
that
was the
knew what
time
they
I
were
got you in
doing.
there.
Maybe.
Was
But it
in the
was the
Olympic.
server had been running and people were already doing things and
Mm.
having fun exploring. And I was like, I don't know. And then there was one time when I walked in, like fresh server, fresh start with something. Because I said, I think part of my problem is that I'm just walking into something that's established and there's too much to take in. So he's like, all right, let me show you the ropes. And I, yeah, I barely got off the beach.
This also might be part of the thing we were talking about, especially for us ADHD kids, where it's the dopamine hit. There's not enough direction because
I think,
Arc is very much similar to Minecraft and Terraria, where it's a little bit more hands off. You got to fuck around, find out, and then eventually you
yeah,
find out that there's a boss later on down the road, and that you can go and try and do
right.
those things. But anything in between is very much just biome progression, material progression, or just, I want to get that dinosaur. How do I do that?
Yeah, I remember very little of my experience with that game other than just not like having a mediocre time at best.
Yeah.
So I would have to, yeah, I have to say that what you are saying is correct without really knowing for sure. Like it was probably very much fuck around and find out vibes, and
It
even
is very
with
much that.
somebody there holding my hand, answering all of my questions, it was I just didn't care. I
You just
didn't
didn't
have
have
enough
it. Yeah,
questions.
I think you just didn't have enough to go. I want to get that thing. I want to do that thing. It wasn't any of that for you.
Yeah,
And for various reasons, like you said, you're not interested in dinosaurs very much. So even though there was like dinosaurs that you could go do those things, you were like, none of those interest me.
yeah,
Which is the
yeah,
part of the reason that you would play that game is I want to have that dinosaur in my thing. Like I said, for
right.
me, I always went and found multiple dinosaurs because the dinosaurs are
Yeah.
also useful in getting
I was
mass
definitely told that I
materials.
could fly around on dinosaurs. I was like, I want me a flying mount. And he
Mhm.
was like, that's a little ways in the future. So we were kind of trying to work towards that. Just
Really?
from like ground zero starting the game. Like
You
we
can.
started fresh.
I don't know,
I,
man. You can get
he just
a
said I
pterodactyl
vaguely
pretty
remember him saying
quickly.
something along the lines of that won't happen tonight. Which is
Okay. Maybe it's
I
because he
don't
wanted
I
to
think
take
that's
it
a
slow and introduce you to everything, perhaps.
maybe.
Because if
I
you
think
can
that that's a
speed run a
realistic
pterodactyl
answer, but
in like
oh,
an hour.
probably. I mean, you can speedrun a lot of shit in games, but then you
Well,
won't
I
know
call it
what's
speed running, but like
happening in
my version of
between.
speed running, which is not really speed running. It's
I
quick
just mean like
progression.
if he's trying to teach me
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like he probably was
how
like
game
not tonight.
work, yeah.
Because
But
that's one of the first things you want to do almost every time is to get a pterodactyl pretty quickly because it helps you establish where you are on the map, establish where you want to be in the map.
it's your boat.
It's exactly, it's your boat. And then you can upgrade that boat. So you get off the pterodactyl and you get into a come on,
The other flappy one.
Argentarius. That doesn't sound right.
Sure.
One of the cool things I did like about Ark was as well, kind of like how Tarkov did this. It taught me more about dinosaurs than I ever thought I would care about.
Hmm.
What I mean by Tarkov is the same thing happened with guns. I learned so much about guns thanks to Tarkov,
Hmm.
which I always had a minor interest in, but like not enough to go and figure it out. Whereas I just sort of learned it naturally from Tarkov, and Ark did the same thing for me with dinosaurs. Argentavis. This came to me. I didn't actually look it up. I was going to look it up. I didn't.
Hmm.
Argent. Yeah, Argentavis, which is basically a prehistoric hawk. Massive
Okay.
fucking
So
bird.
more bird than lizard at that
It is
point.
very bird. It is
Yeah.
huge bird. Like it's
Cool.
bigger than the pterodactyl or a pterodactyl. And you need to ride that thing. That thing's cool to ride on, actually.
There's also something called a Quetzal.
Quetzalcoatl. That thing is massive. You could build a base on the back of that thing and fly around. Small base, like a hut, I guess you could call it. There were mods that tried to extend that to be stupid, and I didn't like them.
Anyway, we could probably keep rambling for another hour.
Derailed us again.
But no, that was a great addition. Arc, we totally forgot to put on the bullet points of
It's true.
games that exist in this. I mean, we haven't even touched on games like, what was
So
it?
many games.
Subnautica, Don't Starve Together. You could even make an argument for games like Factorio, Satisfactory, Oddsparks, etc. Although they're
Foundry.
potentially in their own subgenre of factory sandbox games, not survival sandbox. It's how into the weeds do you want to get into
Yeah, I'm not
genres and
exactly.
putting things in their boxes? Like, yeah. At some point, you're just creating buzzwords to market something by.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
you can't be the top sandbox game because Minecraft's hella hard to compete against because it's been selling like hotcakes forever. But you can be the top factory sandbox game because that's its own genre and we just invented it. You know what I mean?
But it does fit. You
there's-
are making factories.
Yeah, no, there is an argument to be made for that box to be set aside from the sandbox genre.
Especially since that
But I
is
think
the main
that
gameplay
box
loop.
is a box that goes inside of the sandbox genre and has its own label on top of it.
It is definitely no. I will agree with you. The factory games are sandbox. I don't know about survival. I think because it's a factory game that is its main core thing, and it is a sandbox game because of the nature of those things.
Depends
But
on the factory game
survival
you're
might be
talking
a
about.
bit of a sub or not a sub, but like the secondary gameplay
Depends
loop.
on the factory game you're talking about, and it depends on how you define survival.
True.
I would argue that Factorio is a sandbox survival that you play
I'd say
by
yeah.
making a factory.
Like there's 3 check marks
right?
here I'm looking at, and you're looking at, for example, Satisfactory. I'm looking at that as a rather than an even split of survival, sandbox, and factory. That was probably more like sandbox, factory, and then like a hint of survival. Factorio definitely feels like an even split of all 3.
I think that there's probably a literalist take, which is like, does it have a hunger and hydration bar? Okay,
True.
then it's a survival game. If it doesn't, then it just is a sandbox game with combat mechanics or
Could be that.
whatever. Like, yeah, that's a whole nother 2-hour conversation that unfortunately I can't have.
Yeah. Well, that's just more episodes.
Cheers.
Tons more episodes. But back to the viewers. I mean, what type of sandbox survival do you enjoy? Is it the factory ones that we haven't actually really discussed all that much that we just mentioned now?
Is there a whole nother sandbox
Is it more
genre that we haven't
directed,
even
or
mentioned?
do you prefer that whole open-ended, don't need to have any pressure of a direction or story, and you can just do whatever you want? Let us know in the comments down below, and I hope you really liked this episode. If you did, hit the like and subscribe buttons. We'll be doing these at minimum first of every month. We're probably going to try and incorporate a secondary episode per month on the 15th, hopefully starting in March. So
Hopefully.
hopefully.
We'll see where that lands. Yep.
Yeah.
And those episodes will be a little less
Structured.
Constrained by topic. We'll just kind of let ourselves go
A little bit more
wherever the
rambly.
winds take us. Yeah. What games have we been playing this week? What news have we heard?
Yeah.
What do we want to do? What have we done?
Let us know what you want to hear us ramble about, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Okay, bye.